So obviously disappointed to lose the football game today. We knew coming in, you're playing a top-ranked team and, very talented team, so we knew we'd have to play flawlessly, basically, execute and take advantage of any opportunities. Might be there, do a good job in ball security, excel in special teams, and, do well in penalties, and really didn't do much, to check any of those boxes, unfortunately, so never gave ourselves much of a chance. Credit to our opponent on that also, so. Defensively, thought the guys played with really good effort, good energy, and came up with some big plays. Obviously, the spark played by Joe right off the bat, but thought they really competed well and did a lot of good things all the way through the game. Just on the field too long, and then the hill got a little bit high to climb. Offensively, had protection issues right off the bat in that first quarter, and turnovers are tough to overcome again, no matter who you're playing. So. Weren't able to establish anything consistent, and made a quarterback change at halftime. As I said about that situation earlier, I'm not so sure it's real fair to assess that whole thing right now either, just based on the overall play. But we'll go about that tomorrow. I just thought at that time was the best thing to do for all parties involved. Then special teams, Drew hit the good field goal. Good to see that, but otherwise really didn't do much to help ourselves, especially in the first half. So. Play a team like this, it's going to be tough to come out on top, playing that way. So we'll go back to Iowa, regroup like we do after every football game, reassess things tomorrow, and then we'll turn our focus to the next game. And big picture wise, we got 5 left, 5 on the schedule, and that's our plan. Just like it was a week ago to play these 6 games out. Needless to say, we're not where we want to be right now, but we're going to keep pushing forward, and I'll throw it out for questions.
Kirk, what went into the decision to make the change? Was it the last pick 6, or was it just the cumulative?
Just cumulative thing. I just think at that point it was the best thing to do, and but again, it was a tough situation for either quarterback. Probably, I think, fair assessment.
What do you, after the way the second half started for Padilla, the fumble snap and then the interception goes through the receiver's hand, what do you say to him on the side?
Well, the snap thing, I'm a line coach, so, everywhere I worked, they always blame the center, but I blame both guys. And, but, that's not, you can't win games, if you can't get the center exchange. I know it was practiced at halftime, those 2 guys, so, and they practice in practice, but, and then the other one, there's nothing you can do there. I mean, nothing Alex can do, so. But again, it was a series of issues today, not just those 2 plays.
Did you speak to him, or did Brian speak to him?
Yeah, just keep playing. I mean, that's all you can do is keep playing.
Through 7 games now, 7 offensive touchdowns. Why hasn't the execution been there, and why hasn't the improvement?
We're not playing well enough. And that's I can't give you an answer. If I had that answer, you probably would have seen something today. And part of the credit goes to our opponent today. They're a really good defensive football team, much improved. I don't want to say much improved statistically, but they're a good defensive football team. So we felt that coming in, watching their tape, and feel that way now after seeing them in person. So I don't have the answer. We would have scored more points today, and we'll just keep pushing forward and trying to find a better solution.
You had success early on keeping them out of the end zone, holding them to field goals. What happened after that?
Well, I mean, you play so long against, they got a very talented offensive team. I assume you cover them, and you probably notice they got some good players out there. So it's hard to find a weakness, and to keep them short of the end zone. That was a positive, certainly. But it doesn't matter if you can't match points at some point. And, they're tough to defend. They got 4 really outstanding receivers. They had 1 rejoined today, and 2 outstanding running backs. And just one person's opinion, I think their offensive line's playing at a very high level too. So. The quarterback's an outstanding player, so it's a tough team to defense against, and I thought our guys really competed well. But just too high of a hill for us. Mike, you had on. I'm sorry, Mike.
Okay. I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that. That was part of my plan.
I don't need you to help. The defense. I mean, you brought in 3 or 4. 5 defensive players in here and 2 man. They're not pointing fingers. They're looking forward to the future, etc. But how do you explain to them why you're 3 and 4 when they've played so well?
You know, that's football, and I got in trouble for saying that. Where was that? So let me retract that statement. But that's how football can play out sometimes. And you know, I've got a long history at our school, going back to the '80s as well. And you know, been through all kinds of years where you know you're really strong in one area and maybe not so strong in another area. You know, that type of deal. So at least here, that's how it works out. And you try to play the hand you're dealt as well as you can, and you know, try to improve in the areas where you're not playing as at a high level as you like. I think the one consistent thing when I was in the '80s or the last 20 plus years, you know, we've had high caliber guys, so I'm not surprised with the feedback they're giving you, because that's how they are, and they know how hard the guys are working. Everybody's working hard. We all train the same way, we all practice the same way, and they know guys are working hard, and I think they support each other. And you know, we're going to just keep pushing forward and see what we can do with this season. That's our plan.
Kirk, you guys made the change at quarterback today. How do you evaluate whether you should make a change at offensive coordinator?
I'm sorry?
How do you evaluate the idea of maybe you changed quarterbacks?
Mm-hmm.
Would you have an evaluation in the middle of the year of maybe you need someone else
Sorry.
filling the
Yeah,
place?
well, so I answered that question 2 weeks ago. I've never done that in my career. Don't plan on starting right now. Our approach has always been to address what's out there and see what we can do to improve. And you know, it's been pretty consistent for 24 years, almost 24 years now, and that's the plan moving forward. It's been fairly successful.
Is there something that Brian's not been doing that you want him to be doing, or is he doing everything that you're looking for right
Well,
now?
nobody does everything perfect. You know, I've never been in that situation. Certainly, you never play perfect. You never coach perfect. But I think we got a good offensive staff. I think we got good leadership, and we're going to keep pushing forward. So,
Realizing that opponent can make anybody look bad, and made all 7 opponents look bad. Was there any improvement in the last 2 weeks on offense?
you know, it depends where you're looking, but it certainly hasn't been in form of consistency. You know, that part. You know, the game 2 games ago was tough to evaluate, and that team's been playing pretty good defense. They continue to play. So, you know, where I did think we made improvement was against Michigan, you know, 3 games ago, and not quite sure how to quantify it right now. But certainly, it's not good enough, and that's really the bottom line. We can't score points. You know, it's going to be tough to win.
2 early turnovers aside for Alex after those few plays, how would you assess how he handled the offense and handled himself in the second half?
I thought both quarterbacks tried to compete and do their best out there, and so you know we'll look at the tape tomorrow and see what we can do. But you know, Alex, as I've said, has practiced well, and he's totally invested, just like Spencer is. And you know, again, it was a tough situation for him to enter the game. So you know, we'll just take a look at it tomorrow and see what we think.
Along those same lines, I mean, you talked a lot about how it's hard to assess them with everything that's happening around the offense. Now that Alex has played some, what is going to go into that decision of how you assess those 2 and who's going to be the starter?
Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow. But again, this is a tough assessment too. You know, tough opponent, and things weren't going real well. And you know, you're looking up at a score that's a little bit lopsided. That makes it even that much tougher. So, you know, we'll see what the film looks like and go from there.
You know, there's a lot of
Come right back.
frustration.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead.
I'm sure there's frustration for everybody from top to bottom,
Yep.
whoever calls the plays, whoever tries to throw the ball, whatever, block. How do you keep people's confidence high? Because I'm sure that confidence is waning for everybody who's a part of the offense right now.
Sure.
How do you keep it them to have confidence?
Well, again, I'll go back to the thing I said earlier. We have really good people to work with. I think we have good coaches on our staff, and most importantly, good players. And that has been a commonality 30 plus years during my career at our place. So, you know, it starts there, and there's no magic formula. You just keep banging along, and you're never sure when things are going to break through. And I'm standing here right now just thinking about going to Penn State in 2000. I don't think anybody would have called that shot, but that was really the first time we played collectively like a winning football team, winning Big Ten football team. So we didn't do anything magical during that course leading up to that game, other than just try to practice well and try to get better each and every time out there. And I don't think that formula ever changes in sports. You know, I know more football than I do anything else. But yeah, so that's a course we'll stay on. We'll see where it all takes us.
Spencer,
First play of the game was a pick.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously throws pick 6 as well. Where is his mentality? Do you feel like at this point? I'm sure that's the absolute last thing that he wanted to.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you always worry about players' confidence, and he wasn't the only guy out there today. So that's part of the deal. But he's a resilient guy. He's a mentally tough guy, and that's a big component right now. Maybe as big as anything for our football team. We're going to find out how mentally tough we are. to push forward. Because again, we got 5 games in front of us, got all kinds of opportunity. Clearly, we have areas we need to improve in, and you know, to that point earlier, I mean, we never know when that's going to come. We just got to be pushing, working intelligently, and staying focused on improvement. And I'm confident our guys will do that. And then I skipped over again.
Your punter was taking some tentative steps before he decided to take off and run with it. What did he see? Did he not see it soon enough, or what happened on that?
Well, yeah, I'm not sure what he saw, and we didn't have a discussion. I just know that wasn't part of our plan. And moment of levity, we did the same thing last time we played this opponent in our own stadium. And, you know, so maybe it's got something to do playing Ohio State, I don't know, but it was not a sanctioned play.
There are times when things like this can snowball one way or the other.
Sure.
You know, you've been on both sides of it, I guess. How do you keep that from happening, and do you think it's possible to go in the right direction over the last few months?
That part's easy, yeah. I not only think it's possible, I believe it is possible, and I believe it's gonna happen, but, yeah, it's up to us to make it happen. So, yeah, absolutely, I believe it's possible. And that's our job, that's our goal. That's what you try to do anytime you compete, is, you know, get yourself in a position where you can go out and be successful. And we weren't able to do it today, but we're gonna keep pushing hard, and again, we've got quality people, so that's a big component of this whole thing.
As you evaluate at quarterback tomorrow, what are kind of the most important factors for you?
Yeah, let's talk about that Tuesday. I mean, you know, we'll watch the film like we always do and try to make a smart evaluation.
Kirk, why are you willing to change a player's position to put in a new quarterback in the middle of the year, but you would not be willing to evaluate an assistant coach and make a decision in the middle of the year?
I think you're talking about 2 separate job descriptions and 2 separate, you know, areas of responsibility. I know people do it. I know it's been done. It's been done this year. Again, it's just not my preference. You know, my preference has been to play it out. And there's evidence to show that, you know, it's worked pretty well in the past. So we'll play it out, and then we'll do our assessments and our evaluations when everything's over. And the season's not over, so when the season's over, we'll make an evaluation. I think it's best for our program.
You have one of the least productive offenses in the country.
I've noticed that, yeah.
Everybody's noticed it. Do
Well,
you
thank you.
believe that you're putting the Iowa football program in a bad spot by having that kind of production on one side of the ball, and it's run by one of your family members?
It's got no bearing on who the person is, all right? It's just a matter of who is coaching our football team. Okay, the guys on our staff are guys that I think that have demonstrated success. They're good people, and we're going to keep pushing forward. I don't feel like we're doing anything wrong.
When you get to the end of the year and you do make that evaluation, will evaluating Brian be any different than evaluating any other assistant coach?
We've at least I've tried to treat everybody with consistency on our staff, past and present. Same thing with players. Got 3 family members play as well in our program, and you know, they got to earn everything they get, just like coaches do.
All right, thanks, Coach. Thanks, everyone.